Barbados Defense Force.
Morning, Morris. Proceed, you load and zero.
Good morning, Barbados Defense Force. You're loud and clear. Do have a safe and pleasant day.
The hobby of radio communication is certainly appealing, as is evidenced by the over 3 million people around the world who use CBs.
My most memorable moment as an amateur radio operator during the disaster took place in 2007 on the onset of an earth tremor which happened and caused minor damage in Barbados. I remembered at home, and I felt at the time I wasn't sure what it was, but later realized that it was an earth tremor. So I automatically went to my radio station and turned on the transceiver and began gathering information from stations as far as Puerto Rico about the earthquake which took place and came through the chain of islands. And it was a bit a shock up to be involved at that level.
Initially used to notify persons of cane fires during cropover in the 1970s, the Barbados Citizens Band Radio Association was also used to relay traffic report information. Today, it is a registered charitable organization.
Part of our responsibility is to check the Category 1 shelters, make sure they're opened, if they're manned, if they have the necessary supplies, and all that information is fed into Department of Emergency Management here so that they can respond.
Especially during the hurricane season, the amateur radio and citizens band operators work closely with the Department of Emergency Management.
In Barbados, we have the National Emergency Management System, which the Department of Emergency Management coordinates. That is very critical in any emergency or disaster. A critical component of that coordination is communications.
The Telecommunications Agency plays an integral role in all of this by ensuring that all persons who use communication in Barbados are compliant with the rules and regulations of the Telecommunications Act.
What we have been working on is changing or amending the legislation which would allow from the current one-tier license that is in place to a 3-tier license, where you have the beginners or novice class, intermediate, and advanced class. We envisage that this would allow a lot of persons, especially younger persons, to take part in the hobby going forward.
From time to time, persons may suspect that interference over the airwaves is caused by amateur radio or citizens band operators. The Telecommunications Unit has the solution for this.
As you can get interference from a sewing machine or a welder, and people might say that it's a citizen band radio operator or amateur radio operator. So we go and we try to assess the interference. If it's a telephone, you might hear a voice coming through the telephone, or you might hear a noise. So we need to know exactly what is happening. And then once we're finished with the interview, we look at our database and we see who's licensed to operate in the area.
The Barbados Citizens Band Radio Association and the Amateur Radio Society of Barbados will continue to work with the Department of Emergency Management, giving of their services during the hurricane season and in any impending disaster. They are always ready to assist with emergency communication, both locally and regionally.
We do it because of the love of the hobby and the commitment to country and feeling that we've done something to benefit our fellow brothers and sisters.
We welcome your feedback on our programs. You may email your comments to bgisfeedback@barbados.gov.bb. You may also view our website at www.gisbarbados.gov.bb or subscribe to our YouTube channel, the BGIS.